Hello, my name is Chris, and my Teacher's Pit Teacher Story is fun in 8th grade math. In today's presentation, I'm going to be showing you how to use QR codes in a bunch of different ways, primarily for paper pencil resources, but also for digital resources. Last school year, I used mostly digital resources, and this school year, I've kind of gone back to more paper pencil. I just find that the kids can work much quicker. It's easier for me to get them to show their work, and QR codes are just a great way to give them instant feedback and to give them some of those aspects of technology, but still using paper pencil. You're going to have the chance to opt in to receive my emails, and when you do, you're going to receive this Pythagorean theorem story problems worksheet. This isn't the version you're going to get. The version you're going to get is going to have 6 different versions with a bunch of different QR codes, and it's much more in depth. But I wanted to just kind of go through on this worksheet and show you different ways that you can use these, that QR codes can be used. So a lot of times on my worksheets, I will start with having the students watch a video. So you can see on number 1, it says scan the QR code below, watch the video, and take notes in the box. So I kind of searched around for a video on Pythagorean theorem, and I'm sure many of you have used videos from Math Antics before, but let's just say that you wanted to use some of this video. This video is 12 minutes and 55 seconds. And obviously we probably don't want to use the whole thing, but you could say something like, maybe watch the first 3 or 4 minutes. So what you're going to do is copy the link. There's a lot of different free QR code websites. This is qrcodemonkey.com, and you don't need an account. You can use it for free. And so you would click URL, you would paste the link in there, and then you're going to create the QR code. So then I'm going to download the PNG. Okay, once it's downloaded, you have to go find it in your downloads. So here it is. Here's what I usually do. I just drag it in. So you're going to drag it in, kind of resize it. I'm using Google Slides and Google Docs today. So you're going to make it much smaller, but you could either put it at the top or the bottom. So if I gave the students paper pencil, they would use their smart device, scan that QR code, and it would take them to that video. Now, if it's going to be a digital resource, what you want to do then is click on it. You want to go to this insert link, and then you're going to put that link on that code. So now if you give it to them digitally, when they click on that, they'll be taken, to the website to watch that video. So that's a little trick to get that to happen. So what I like to do is kind of scaffold for the students on a worksheet. So, they start by watching that video. So then on the second problem, I would tell them to try it first on their own, but then I'm going to give them a couple different ways that they can check their work. So this says a right triangle has legs of 9 and 40 centimeters. What is the length of the hypotenuse? So I went over to Google Slides, which is much easier to add graphics to. So I created this triangle, labeled it for them. So, and you'll see I also did the work and gave them the correct answer. So what I'd want them to do is to try number 2, and then once they're done, they could scan that QR code, and it's going to show them the picture, it's going to show them the work, and it's going to show them the answer. So I'm not going to do that in the whole worksheet, but I usually start off that way at the beginning. I don't want them to do the whole worksheet wrong, and so I want to give them an opportunity at the beginning to really see if they're on the right track, kind of fix any misconceptions or errors that they're making, right away. I don't want them to, form a bad habit and do the whole worksheet wrong and then realize that they made a bunch of mistakes. So if you're using Google Slides or Google Docs at this point, after you got everything that you want to show up in the QR code, you would click File, you would come over here and you'd say Publish to the web. So I'm going to publish this, and you just want to make sure that your settings are, so anybody could see this. You might have to fidget with them a little bit, but my settings are that way right now. So I can copy this link, and then I'm going to go back to QR Code Monkey, And I'm going to use this link now to create another QR code. I'm going to download the PNG. So when the students click on this one or scan this one, they're going to be taken to that triangle with the work and the answer. And I'm going to do the same thing where I add the link so that if I give it to them digitally, so I'm going to drag it in, I'm going to resize it. So again, I want to add that link to it. So I'm going to click, it's showing a link, but I don't think it's the right one. So I'm going to edit that one. Yeah, that's the math antics. I don't want that. So I'm going to put the new link in. And so now when they click on that, they're going to be given all that stuff that I just showed you. You can see in this third problem, I actually drew the picture for them. So they, on the QR code, I wouldn't need to include that. So usually when you're just writing numbers, Google Docs is fine. Google Slides is better for graphics and things like that. But so for question number 3, maybe I just want to provide the equation, the work, and then the answer. So again, that same process. So I'm going to go to File. I'm going to publish it to the web. One thing to remember about when you publish it to the web, you'll notice that it does actually reset. So say that you made your QR code and everything, and then you realize that there was a mistake on it. When you go back to that Google Doc or that Google Slide and you fix the information, it'll change with the QR code. So the next time they click on it, it'll be whatever the corrected information was. So I think they refresh like every 3 or 4 seconds or something like that. So you can change those. So just remember that if you change that document, it will change what the kids see with the QR code. Sorry, this takes a little bit to download. I'm not sure why. I think they want you to look at that ad. So here's our third one. When you're resizing them, if you go to one that you already made, and it'll kind of show you when it's the same size. So again, it keeps using that first link. I don't want that first link, so I'm going to change it. So on this fourth question, maybe I don't want to provide the work or the picture. Maybe I just want to give them the answer. So again, you could go to your Google Doc and that same whole process. I'm not gonna do it, but you can see how I'm kind of scaffolding it. At the beginning, I'm giving them a lot of support, and I'm slowly taking it away as they kind of progress through the worksheet. So a lot of times, like on the back side of the worksheet, I might not provide any QR codes. So on number 5 or number 6 and number 7, maybe they just need to try them and then bring it to class, and that maybe those are the ones you check in class, or you kind of go over those ones together, because the front you shouldn't really need to go over in class, because they should have checked it on their own. And so remind them about that, that you're not going to go over it, and you expect them to be looking at those QR codes to check their own work. So if I was going to give this worksheet, I would be grading 5, 6, and 7, or looking at that when they bring their homework in the morning. On number 8, it says scan the QR code and try 2 word problems on Khan Academy. Show your work in the box. How did you do? And so what I would have them do is kind of go back to an interactive site like Khan Academy, or there's a bunch of great websites, but let's say I chose Khan Academy. So I'd want them to go over here and practice either maybe some of the word problems, or you can choose whatever one you're working on, but so, we were working on the word problems. So what I would have them do is try a few problems on here. They'll get instant feedback with this. They can get hints, but I might have them show their work for these couple problems that they tried online, or, at least show maybe the answers that they got. But I'm going to make the QR code for this as well. So So even though you're using a paper pencil resource, you could add some technology to it. Um, the kids can scan the QR codes with their Chromebooks. If your school is really strict on cell phones and things like that, obviously you can have them use their Chromebooks to scan the QR codes. I think they need a free app to do it. But usually when I give them like a website where they go and practice problems, I want to provide, an area for them to show their answers or show some of their work. I wouldn't require them to show all of them, but maybe one or two just to show me that they went on there and tried. Once you're done, once you have your final product, one of the great things you can do is differentiate this worksheet. So what you'd want to do is you're going to copy and then you're going to paste. And so you see I made duplicates of the 2 pages I had. So now maybe I want to delete one of the QR codes, or maybe both those 2 extra QR codes. Maybe I just have one at the bottom that just shows the answers without any of the work or the equations. So you can really differentiate for your different levels. Your highest achieving kids maybe don't need a lot of support, where some of your special education students need a ton of support. And so you can really kind of customize that to whatever their needs are, and make it fit for your students. One thing you can do if you find an image or a graphic that you really want to share with your students, especially if it would be helpful on a problem, you'd want to take a screenshot of it. So you're going to hit Command-Shift-4, take that screenshot of whatever that image is, or notes or graphic that you want to share with them. And then once you do that, you're going to do that same process where you're going to create a new Google Doc or Google Slides. So maybe you just want to use a Google Doc for this one. And you're going to just add that image. So what you can do is, go to your downloads, find that image that you just took, and just, drag it in. And so there it is. Obviously my profile's in there, but you'd want to, then do that same process where you publish to the web, create that link, and then you can make, when you make your QR code, you can add that link, so then they would get that graphic on that question. Another fun thing that I like to do once in a while is put a QR code randomly on the paper that says something like, share on this question your favorite color, or your favorite season, or your nickname, or something where, and you can tell them you're going to give them extra credit for those answers. And it kind of just gets them used to making sure that they check all the QR codes, and, they don't want to miss out on a chance to get some extra credit, or, to respond to a fun question. Or sometimes I've even done where, email me your favorite TV show, or something like that. It just, kind of gets their interest, and they think it's pretty fun. And, I'll give some extra credit for that. And that way I know who's really checking all the QR codes, and making sure to do each question, and to check their answer, and to watch the video. And then sometimes at the end of maybe a worksheet or a quiz in class, I'll put a link to like a Blooket. My kids love using Blooket. So you can assign, these are all those free Blookets that I made. So, you can search fun in 8th grade math on Blooket, and hopefully some of them will come up. But so like maybe this integer addition. So you want to host it. And then not all of the game modes can be shared as homework, but like I know this Tower of Doom can. So once you click on it, you're going to assign as homework. And so maybe you want it to give them a couple days to work on it. So, 3 days, it'll close after 3 days. You can give it a title. So I want to assign, once you got all that, check your settings there. I want to assign now. And it's going to give me the link. So that's the link that I want to copy and paste into the QR code. And it's going to tell me the number of players that played it, how many correct, how many incorrect. And so my students love playing Blooket. And so this is definitely a reward. And it kind of makes them, again, check all the QR codes, because they don't want to miss out on a fun game that you might have assigned. So there's a couple fun things that you can do with that. So I haven't played around with a ton of other QR code websites much, but a little bit here and there. But the one I've mostly used is this QR code monkey. I want to show you a couple other useful things on this real quick. So if you didn't want to make a QR code for a website, you could just use the text feature. So maybe you wanted to give them a hint about, side C of a right triangle is always called the hypotenuse. It's the longest side. So you could write your message here and then go ahead and create that QR code. Instead of taking them to a link, it'll just give them that message. So it's a little bit easier. It also has an email and phone feature. So maybe at the beginning of the year for your, at your open house, or you want to give the kids a quick way to get in contact with you, you could create a QR code for your email or your phone number. Maybe you have a YouTube channel. You can create one for YouTube, or so there's a bunch of different features up there. There's also this statistics and editability. So you can click on that, and then you can be able to see how many people have clicked on your QR code. So if you want to make sure that the students are actually watching the videos and checking their work, you could turn that on, and then you'll be able to kind of monitor how many people have used it. There's also a dynamic QR code, but I think it's only for the upgraded version. But it's one where, let's say that you make a worksheet with all the QR codes on it, but then you realize after the fact, you ran all your 200 worksheets, and then you realize there was a mistake on one of the QR codes. If it's the dynamic one, you can go back and change that QR code on the back end, and then when the students scan it, it'll be the correct version or the correct work, whatever, So the dynamic ones can be edited, but I think that's only for the upgraded version. You can also set the colors. So you could change the color. Let's make this one red. You can add a logo. Let's say that you have a certain image or a logo you want to use, or maybe you just want them to see, that this is a video QR code, so that they know every time they see that symbol that they're going to be watching a video. So you could add that symbol to it. You can even customize some of the designs on it. So I'm just going to pick a few different ones here. So just pick those three. So now when I create this, let's see what it looks like. Yep, that might catch their attention a little bit more. It's got some designs. It's red. It's got that video in the middle, and so that's kind of a nice feature, just to make sure that they're noticing what you're doing. So I want to quickly show you what the resource is going to look like that once you opt in. This is the free resource on Pythagorean theorem that you'll get. It's story problems with QR codes, and it's got 6 different versions. So you can see I really customized it, and you can really differentiate with it. Some that have no QR codes, some that have QR codes for the odd questions, both setup and the answer. Some just have the setup, some just have the picture. And so I really, changed it up. So I included a detailed answer key. And then this last version, I put the actual picture on the worksheet. So it's 50 pages long. So you'll be receiving this for free. And this top page also has some of my contact information. So my Teachers Pay Teachers link, my Instagram, my Facebook, my Pinterest, and Blooket. I created a bunch of free Blookets for 8th grade, so you can go over there and check those out. I also have a math group that you might be interested in for Facebook. And it's middle school math teachers, and it's currently got 38,000 members, so tons of awesome information being shared all the time. We average probably like 20 posts a day, and some amazing ideas and some amazing educators out there sharing some of the stuff that they're doing in their classroom. So you can join that. And then I also have my Fun in 8th Grade Math Facebook. I said my Instagram, and that Blooket and the Pinterest as well. So thanks for watching. I hope you got a lot out of it. I also have my email on that. So if you have any questions about anything that I showed, feel free to email me, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks. Have a great day.